Hello, it's Ricardo and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Destroying the Orthorus seems to be the name of the game recently, and for that you're going to need a special type of ship. For me, I'm using the Anaconda, the Orthaconda, and this ship and this ship build will allow you to solo an Orthorus with very minimal, if not at all, any engineering. In what seems to be a last-ditch effort to slow down the war and their imminent destruction, the Titans have deployed their Orthorus type of vessels to several different systems. Recently, during the Oya campaign, 30 alert systems turned up during the weekly tick. Commanders were furious, and a big campaign has been pushed through to defeat not only these systems, but also the Titan in question. Now, are we seeing a counterattack by the Titans, or is this Frontier Developments slowing down the progression of the game? Either way, you need a ship to combat these Orthorus ships. Now, for me, it's going to be the Anaconda, and this is my Orthaconda build. Now, you could do it perhaps with a Python, but anything that's got enough slots to lay down the huge amount of damage that you need to lay down on an Orthorus once you've got its shield down. So in this video, what we're going to do, we're going to go through and I'm going to show you a solo Orthorus kill in this ship with this build. Then I'm going to show you the build, then an advanced build, then an advanced kill, and then my thoughts on it. So here we go. So, non-human signal source, threat 4. That's what you want in a Thargoid alert system. Dead simple. Go in there, if it's got a nav beacon, then you're diamond. Scan the nav beacon and then it will show all the signal sources. If it hasn't got a nav beacon, then, you've got to use your scanner. We've dropped in. We're here. We've got our weapons out. We're going to be tooled up. There's a Thargoid probe in the middle of this little combat area. If it's got one of those, great. Now, it's a little bit hit and miss. The Orthorus does not always turn up. Anyway, on this occasion, it is, and we've got the quintessential Thargoid black guff coming through. It's rent in which space as it's going to come through. We're getting in close. I've got 3 pips to my systems, 3 pips to my weapons. As you can see, I've got a beam laser with a bit of thermal vent, long range, and I've got enhanced AX missiles. So there's our Orthorus. He's spewing out his caustic green guffed behind it. We're closing on him. Our finger is poised on the Thargoid pulse neutralizer or shutdown wave neutralizer. Here comes the surge. We have thwarted him and now he's going to get it. Now if you can, stay out of the caustic cloud because you will start to incur caustic damage here. However, I've got caustic sinks, don't really care. I'm doing my best to sort of orbit to the side of it while still laying down a little bit of fire. The missiles are going off. These enhanced AX missiles from the enhanced AX missile launchers are going in to give it a bit of bother. There you go. Its shield is down, and now we're going to actually get some good damage on this Orthorus. He's down to 60%, 50%. Each of these volleys, right, pummeling the Orthorus. We got him down to 30-odd%. 20-odd. 15. This is going to be his biscuits. And he's out of there. Pow. And for that, everybody, 40 million credits. Which I'm sure you'll agree is not too shabby. Now, if you've got a caustic rack fitted to this ship, you can pick up its heart and any other mess that's floating about. But be aware, because the Thargoid scouts are going to come in and give you a bit of beef. So, a quick exit could be called for. So here we are doing our old Foxtrot Oscar away from the scouts, and it's on to the next Orthorus, because you've still got enough weapons and hopefully enough hull. But not in this video, because what we're going to deal with next is the Orthaconda basic build. Here we go. So here we are in my Orthaconda build. That's right, it's the Orthorus Destroyer, the Destroyer of Orthorus. Now currently, if you have access to an Anaconda, you can obviously have this build. Not every commander will do. If you're just starting out in the game, if you want a smaller ship, well then It's all about having as many missile slots to lay down that fire on that Orthorus as you possibly can. Anaconda is quite good for this. So what have I got here? 3B missile rack, all enhanced, all the way down there. We could do better with the missile racks, with the serious ones, but that requires an additional unlock. We'll come on to that a little bit later. Enhanced missile racks, 2D as well. Now the difference between the 2D and the 3B, a magazine clip size, alright, bit of thermal load. They still do the same damage. Your distributor draw is more on the 3B than it is on the 2, naturally. Now, the 1 slots. I've got a beam laser in there, bit of thermal vent. Okay, long range weapon. What I could also put in here, if you have access to it via power play, is a Crito Scrambler. Now, the Crito Scrambler, it's a tidy little weapon, this. Now, all this is all well and good, and you saw the results of that at the beginning of this video. I got myself over to a serious mega ship, and this one is Lutyens Star. It's the Spirit of Lelapse. Now, why am I here? They sell a different type of missile rack. This is the pre-engineered enhanced missile rack. Faster reload times. A little bit less damage, about 10% less damage. Personally, they're expensive. You can do this without them, but, you know, for science, what we're doing is we're going to do a good comparison. So here we are, we're on the Sirius mega ship that happens to be in Lutyens Star, into the technology broker, and if you've got enough materials, you can buy some special gear. There will be cargo racks, meta-alloy reinforcement, whatever. What I'm saying is we're on to guns. And not just guns, missiles. And if you go down here, you can see all the different enzyme missile racks and shot cannons and all the rest of it. And for that, you can exchange your materials, whether they be raw materials and other components, for the stuff that you need. Now, what we need, right, is the Sirius Corporation AX missile rack, Class 2 and Class 3. What we're going to do is going to take the ones that we've popped in the Orthaconda out. We're going to buy new ones, and we're going to fit them out with the Sirius AX Corporation missile rack. Okay? Now, as you can see, they're not cheap. And every time you want to buy one, you've got to hand over those materials. So, that's something to bear in mind. Bearing in mind that I've just done an Orthorus solo without this. So, anyway, it's up to you. Yes, you could use these when fighting the Titans as well. Could lay down a little bit of extra damage or damage more quicker. It's completely up to you. Anyway, we're all tooled up. So this is the enhanced build, right, of the Orthaconda. Like I was mentioning, AX missile rack pre-engineered. A little bit less damage, as we can see, from the normal enhanced AX missile rack, right? But the rate of fire and the shot speed is, you know, you gotta take the rough with the smooth, right? Power draw, mass, it's all up, right? The damage is down. The jitter, a little bit more. You're going to have to get right up its trumpet to do it, right? But the rate of fire, the ammo clip size, the reload time is all more. So you should be able to, even though each individual missile is less damage, you should be able to lay more damage on them. Anyway, that's the plan. So AX missile, pre-engineered. Kind of ran out of materials, so I'm just going to leave that one in there. Here, I'm going to put in a burst laser, which I got from Power Play, right? This Crito Scrambler is really good against shields. These are the Sirius missile racks, and this is done with Power Play, right? So, all cool stuff. So I've got to go and get that banged over. I'll fit it out when I get to where I'm going, but I will pop it in there. What else did I do? Well, okay then, this is what I did. Then, utility mounts. I took out some of the heatsink launchers, because, well, to be fair, I didn't really need to have additional heatsink launchers. I could engineer up a heatsink launcher. Look at me spending the materials here. Generate that. Burning through my mechanical scrap. Done. Right. So that's going to help a little bit. Military grade composite, I could engineer that up a bit. I have gone for a good old overcharge power plant there to give me that extra bit of power, because I can't use Guardian stuff because it will rot. Thermal spread on it. Got me thrusters, dirty drive. Could go a bit further on that. Need to get some additional components. Frame shift drive, increased range, no problem. That's why we're cooking around about 40, which is good enough for this build. Life support, lightweight, got a 5A on that. Power distributor, we've gone for charge enhanced with super conduits. And the sensors, well, it's an 8D. We're not going to get too precious about this. I could put long range on this, right? Might help us out, but for what we're doing on this build, I don't think we're going to need it. Standard fuel tank. Over here now, right? I could put something in a bit more tastier there, right? There you go, but I'm not going to. I'm going to replace this module eventually. I'm going to bring some cargo racks over. It'll take 5 minutes to get those transferred over. Right, no problem. I could put an AFM in here as well. Right, why not? Why unequip that? The AFM in there. And here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bang in a lovely collector limpet controller. Why a collector limpet controller? Because I'm going to start getting some additional materials from in the war systems or the invasion systems where the Orthorus are currently maneuvering about, like, if you know what I'm saying. And that's the build. So really, that's going to rot. Typically I've got to have that because, you know, I've got a ton of tasty stuff on there. This cargo rack can be changed out. We know this. I've got an AFM in there, right? The bioweaves could be better, but, you know, I'm coping. This is a jump in, shoot the Orthorus, jump out sort of situation. Okay? That's kind of like, that's the build. But if you're going to be a new commander and you have got an Anaconda, just put in the standard missile racks. Just have a load of them. Something there, beam laser, long range, thermal vent, and if you've got access to that Cyto Scrambler, pop that in. But we'll see how that goes when we get to the destination system. No drama. So if you're still with me, rock on, commanders. Time to take the Orth-a-Conda into battle with its enhanced AX missile racks from Sirius Corporation, and to see if all those materials that I've spent is actually going to be worthwhile. Now, let's face it, I was doing alright before. Is this going to be any better? Well, let's take a look for science. Okay, got to a class 4 signal source. Orthorus in the house. He jumped in just a short while after I did. So, no point scanning him, simply because we know it's an Orthorus, we know what we're hearing and what we're doing. So you could actually remove that and put something in, perhaps another caustic sink or something else. Anyway, okay, so we're going to set up a volley for him. We've got the right fire mode selected. He's going to pulse. There it is. We're going to hit it with a Thargoid pulse wave neutralizer, which I've got fitted here, or you can use a shutdown field neutralizer. That will work. We're going to try our best to stay out of the caustic field and let loose with our pre-engineered Sirius Corporation AX missiles. So far, Orthaconda's doing quite well. The shields are holding up perfectly fine, no worries. It's not giving us any damage other than a little bit of caustic, so the caustic sinks are really key here. We're throwing damage at him. His shield's about to go. That's the shield gone. And here it is. Now we're going to lay on some damage on the hull. Well, the rate of fire is brilliant. The rate of reload is brilliant as well. Say a little less damage. You haven't got to have these. I think it would definitely help. He's gone. And now we can move on to the next thing. So in conclusion, what have we seen here? Yes, you can do it with minimum amount of engineering. You could do this with a Python, no dramas. If you want to spend the extra materials on getting serious enhanced pre-engineered AX missile racks, then you can. It's much of a muchness. The end result will remain the same. If you've got an Anaconda or a Python, then you can lay some serious damage down against it. Personally, Orthorus hunting for 40 million, it's a good earn. The frustration comes when you can't find the Orthorus or the Orthorus doesn't spawn. I had a couple of instances of that as well. Hope you've enjoyed this video. I've enjoyed making it. I've also enjoyed making 40 million per dead Orthorus. Let's do our part and get this war ended. I've been Ricardo. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.